Hello, and welcome to this segment on forward quotes. Nice little segment, pretty much exclusively calculation based. So we're really going to look at how forward rates are quoted and then do a quick calculation using our no-arbitrage formula. So all good fun. Let's start off with the quotes. A forward quote is often given to you as points. You may know and love them in the real world if you trade these as pips. Points above or below the spot. The point is the last digit of the spot rate that you are quoted. So what you'll want to do in the exam as soon as you see the spot, so as soon as you see it, I've seen it already, so let's do it. It's here. We've got 0.7313 Aussies per euro. As soon as I see that, the last digit, 0.7313, so 0.0001. That's my last digit. What I would do is note that that's given to me as 4 decimal places. So the point will go to that last digit of that spot quote, that 4th decimal place. Then they've quoted the forward, not as another rate, but as 3.5 points. So, first of all, fairly straightforward. It's a plus sign, so we're going to add it to the spot rate. We take the spot of 0.7313, we add in the 3.5 points, but our last digit here was the 4th decimal place, 0.0001. So before you can add those points in, you must multiply them by 0.0001. And if you do that, you'll find you get 3.5 times 0.0001, 0.00035. Add that to the 0.7313, and you get 0.73165. Notice, so it doesn't panic you in the exam, we started off with 4 decimal places, but because we had here 3.5 points, we ended up with 5 decimal places in our answer. Another way of tacking this, just in case you see this in model answers or you're used to doing this, you could see your 3.5 points here. Say, look, we have 4 decimal places in my spot. So I'm going to take my 3.5 before I add it in and divide by 10,000. Obviously, mathematically, that's absolutely identical to multiplying by 0.0001. But you're dividing by 10,000 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. Either way, as long as you get to 0.73165, you are in business. Almost all quotes you'll see in the exam, I would expect to be 4 decimal places. So you can stick with this 4 DPs, 10,000, 0.001, whatever works. The exception is when you're given quotes for yen. Yen tend to be with 2 decimal places. So you'd be 0.01 if you're multiplying or dividing it by 100. But get comfortable with going from spots to forwards. Or obviously they could give you the forward and get you to go back to spots, or give you both and get you to work out the number of points. Any direction is fair game. So that's how they're quoted. But as always, it's the interpretation that's as much, if not more fun. So we have our spot, and this time we are given the forward quote as a percentage. So you could get it as pips, points, or you could get it as a percentage. If it's a percentage, it's straightforward math, pretty straightforward. If it's negative, so multiply it by 1 minus the percentage as a decimal. And in this case, you get a forward of 0.7308, and the spot was 0.7313. So we've done the calculation. What about the interpretation? Well, here we would say the Aussie is trading in a forward premium relative to the euro. Conversely, we'd say the euro, if we just write that in as well, is trading at a discount relative to the Aussie. Has to be the opposite way around. Now, let's look at logic. Why is that? I personally, and that's why I've written it down, I always like to start with the base because that's 1 unit. It's a lot more solid. We have 1 euro in the spot market buying 0.7313 Aussies. 1 euro gets you 0.7313 Aussies. But in the forward market, that same euro in the forward market is only buying you 0.7308 Aussies. The single euro buys more Aussies in the spot than it can in the forward. If it's buying fewer in the forward, then it's trading at a forward discount. Conversely, the Aussies, well, it would cost you 0.7313 Aussies to get a euro today, but it would cost you only 0.7308 Aussies to get a euro in the forward. It's cheaper to buy euros in the forward market, therefore the Aussie is trading at a premium. Now that's the interpretation. Once again, if you want to, you can just learn the direction of the numbers. In this situation, we have the spot 0.7313 higher than the forward. So the spot is higher than the forward. That meant the price is at a premium, the base is at a discount. And obviously, had it been the other way around, we'd go for the opposite. So those rules are summarized for you on the next slide. Definitely have these in your head, but I would try and discourage you throughout this entire syllabus of writing down review cards or flashcards or whatever you want with just lists and lists and lists of rules on without knowing where they came from. If you understood everything we just chatted about on the previous slide, you don't need to write this list down. Even if you do need to write this list down, you should only need to write down one of them because they are all opposite in some way. So let's consider what we just looked at. So the previous slide, we said, look, spot 7313, forward 7308. So the forward was below the spot. So that's the example we were with. The forward is below the spot. We said that meant the base is buying fewer of the price in the forward market. The base was at a discount. Well, if the base is at a discount, the price has to be at a premium. It's senseless spending valuable time and taking up valuable brain space learning those two lines. The second one follows from the first. And then all you say is, look, that was when the forward was less. So now we can say, if the forward is less, the base is at a discount. It follows, if the forward was greater, the base should be at a premium. So you only really need one of these four. Save yourself time wherever you can. Don't learn things in a vacuum and just say, right, I've got to write this whole list down because it was on a slide. We're presenting you with the four to say, look, these are all the rules. You can use this as a revision tool, but you should understand those from just looking at the quote on the previous slide. Okay, to finish off, a tremendous calculation, the no-arbitrage forward exchange rate. No arbitrage, meaning this will actually work. We've saved the best for last. In the world of economics, we're finally looking at something that works. And it says this, it has to hold in the real world that the ratio of your forward rate to your spot rate should equal the ratio of interest rate. So 1 plus the interest rate over 1 plus the interest rate. Now, we've put A's and B's in there. A/B and A/B. Personally, I would always think in terms of price and base. So A/B, I'd think of B as the base. And the good news is the base here is on the bottom. That's fairly easy to remember. It is a calculate LOS, so let's have an example of this. Here we go. So putting the numbers in, this is what it could look like. We have spot rate of 4.5671, ABEs to DUBs. So in this quote, get into good habits for the exam, DUB is the base. So 4.5671 ABEs to dubs. We're given the riskless ABE interest rate as 5 and the riskless DUB as 3. Again, good habits. I've noted the DUB is the base, so 3% is the base interest rate. Calculate the arbitrage-free 1-year forward rate. Okay, I will. Here's the formula. We saw another version of this on the previous slide where we said the ratio of forward to spot is the ratio of interest rates, 1 plus R over 1 plus R. Multiply both sides of that by spot and you end up with this, which is the version I would learn. Forward is 1 plus R over 1 plus R times the spot with the base interest rate on the bottom. That's easy to remember, base on the bottom. So what do we have? Spot rate, 4.5671. There it is, the spot. Multiply it by 1 plus R over 1 plus R. On the top, 1.0, well, Abe is the price, so 1.05. DUB is the base, the 3%, so 1.03 on the bottom. So 1.05 divided by 1.03 times the spot, we get the forward rate of 4.6558. ABEs to DUBs. That's the calc. Done. But just as, if not more exciting than the calculation, as we keep saying, it's the analysis, the interpretation. So let's pick through this final sentence in red at the bottom of the slide. Note, ABE interest rate is higher. ABE was 5. Dubs was only 3. I agree with that. So ABE rate is higher. So the forward ABE to dub was higher than the spot. 46558 to 456. Yep. Forward is higher than the spot. Well, what did we decide that meant? Forward is higher than the spot. That means it takes more ABEs to buy a dub in the forward market than it does in the spot. It takes you 465 ABEs to buy a dub in the forward market. It only takes you 456 in the spot. That means ABEs are trading at a forward discount. Or go back to your rules. The forward is higher than the spot. That means the price is trading at a forward discount. But put all of that together and look what we have. This might not be immediately intuitive. Abe has the higher interest rate, therefore will trade at a forward discount. Huge. When I say huge, it might come up as a single question, but useful. That's probably a better word because the average candidate won't necessarily make that link. Now, the other big trap is a calculation trap, and that's to do with this. I just skimmed over that, did the calculation. It was a 1-year forward rate. We always assume that we are given annual interest rates. So when they just said to me, oh, Abe rate's 5, Dubs is 3, I have to assume they are annual rates. And it was a 1-year forward rate, so all is good. In the exam, next slide shows you what would happen and what you'd need to do if instead we wanted something like, well, here, a 90-day rate. So what do we have? Spot rate, 4.5671. Okay. But we are given a 90-day ABE rate of 5% and a 90-day DUB rate of 3%. And we want to calculate a 90-day forward. Well, the average candidate who's not read this in detail will just do the exact calculation we just went through. Don't. These are 90-day rates, but they are always quoted, expressed as simple annual 360-day rates. Even though it says the 90-day rate is 5%, it is still quoted as an annual rate, and therefore you need to turn it into a periodic 90-day rate. So what do? You take the 5%, and again, this is not something we do in Schweizer just for fun. Not even the CFA just for fun. This is how rates are quoted. This is like a LIBOR. So even though it says 90-day rate, it's quoted annually. But the good news is it's simple. So if you've done the quant segments, you should know. If I have a simple rate, it's annual at 5%, and it's based on 360 days, all I need to do to get it down to a 90-day rate is multiply it by 90 over 360. That leaves me actually with a 90-day rate of 1.25. DUB, well, same thing, 3%, but that's annual on 360. times it by 90 over 360, you get 0.75. Probably highlighted and stressed this enough already, but I'm going to do it one more time. Even though that says it's a 90-day rate, it is quoted on an annual basis. You must therefore time apportion it before you use it. Then the calculation, as you'll see on the next slide, is as it was before. So we take the spot and we multiply it by 1 plus r over 1 plus r. But remember, we time apportioned. We got it down to the 1.25 and the 0.75%. That will give us a 90-day forward of 4.5895. That is the correct way to do it. Now, expect in the exam to get convincing distractor answers. This is what the candidate who hasn't paid attention will do. They will simply throw in the 5 and the 3%. Don't. They are still annual rates. So that is wrong and wrong. So don't do it. But expect in the exam to see this as a potential distractor answer. It's the kind of thing I do whilst I'm reviewing mocks and practice exams, is look for the other distractor answers and see why they were wrong. Absolutely crucial that you time apportion the rates before you do the calculation.